Hi guys, my name is Linda and I'm in charge of education for FetchFInd online. In this lesson, we are going to talk about greeting dogs safely. Loving dogs means being aware of dogs and their needs. It means creating an environment of trust and a culture of safety. Knowing how to properly greet a dog helps keep everyone safe. We're going to talk about some elements of safety as it relates to having that initial interaction with a dog so that we create a safe and mutually beneficial environment for everybody. As you're looking at these dogs right now, as they're interacting with and responding to their environment, I want you to ask yourself, would you approach these dogs? Would you pet them? Would you want to kiss them? Would you walk away? How do we know how and when to engage with the dog? Well, ideally, before you interact with a dog, you know a number of important things. In a professional setting, we often have the benefit of knowing some of these things before we meet a dog, but that's not always the case. And at the very least, we may know age and breed. You definitely want to know if the dog has any bite history, if that information is available, how long the dog has been in that particular home or with that owner, and of course, any health issues. Certain health issues can affect a dog's behavior in a number of different ways. If you can at least know a little bit about a dog before you engage, whether it's a dog on the street, going to a friend's house, meeting a dog at a park, going into a house as a dog walker, knowing something about the dog can certainly help predict possible behavior. Part of safe greetings is about having some counterintuitive interactions. And what I mean by that is, well, even though you see a dog that you love and that you know you're going to enjoy petting, first of all, you want to do nothing, almost nothing. Ideally, what you want to do is show a nice, calm, quiet, and happy demeanor, because the reality is that the calmer and quieter and happier you are, you're likely going to elicit some of that from the dog. Also, remember, dogs don't necessarily need to smell your hand to know who you are. They can identify you sometimes way before you've even walked into the room. And in some cases, a reached out hand, especially if you're dealing with a stressed or fearful dog, can actually indicate a threat. And of course, when we're being perceived as a threat in a dog's environment, our risk goes up. And part of our job, it's my job, it's your job, our jobs as professionals or just people who love dogs, is to keep them calm and safe and to make sure that in any interaction we have with them, we can guarantee the lowest risk possible. Now let's look at this dog. We're seeing some fearful behavior, some lip licking, that shake off right there. All signs of stress. But what you also saw there was someone trying to interact with him. What they weren't paying attention to were some of those common stress signals. And just within that 4-second window, we saw a yawn, some lip licks, a head turn, a shake off, and a very small whale eye. Taking all of that into consideration, reaching down to pet this dog is probably not the best idea. I would prefer to let this dog come to me. There are a few guidelines for that first hello. Avoiding direct eye contact. It can be a really big trigger for stress and can indicate a threat to some dogs. Letting the dog come to you. This is one that I think a lot of people really forget about. When a dog is able to actually make a decision about engagement, that can really set the tone for your future relationship with that dog. So let's think about this when we think about whether a dog really wants to be petted. Do you think this dog really wants to be petted? Probably no, right? Walking away is a sure sign of not wanting to engage. So let's see it in action. Here we have a lovely collie and a person who clearly loves this dog. Now she's doing some things that we wouldn't necessarily recommend, like putting her face in the dog's face. But look what happens when she stops petting. We see a dog that wants to continue engagement. It's a wonderful indicator, wonderful communication, and clearly she read the situation really well. To the opposite, we have a terrier mix here. Same environment, same person. She has the same affect as she did before. She's doing some lovely things to encourage the dog to engage. She's patting her leg, extending her hand, not in a threatening or invasive way, but just extending the offer to engage. She's looking away, and he's still choosing not to approach. So that's a sure sign not to continue. And how about this dog? Do we want to pet this dog? Well, we see some whale eye, ears back, some tension in the muzzle. We'll want to wait and see if this dog approaches us. And what about this guy? There's some lip licking there, but there it is. There's some engagement, some asking for interaction. This is the most important element. When a dog engages us, we know that it's going to be a much safer experience for everybody. And let's look at this dog. There's an approach, but we see some apprehension. There's some petting, some touching. It's about seeking out and solicitation. But then look what happens. It may have been too much for this dog. She didn't want to engage any further, so she, of course, then just walked away. So now this guy, he's moving around a little bit. He's sitting. She's not totally interacting with him. There she goes. He's not doing a whole lot of stuff that we would normally consider friendly behavior. He's not jumping up. He's not outwardly excited. But the sheer fact that he hasn't walked away or shown any sign of resentment or shyness, that's good enough for us. And how about this guy? Do we want to approach him and kiss him? Very clear answer is no, right? That one was an easy one. So you're now armed with some good information to help inform the decisions you make in regards to interacting with dogs. So go out there and love on those dogs and remember to be safe.